In this video, I'm going to go through our Chapter 3 test review homework packet just to kind of help you out as you're studying, and if you have any questions, you can refer to this video to help you out. So the first page of your packet, you'll notice that you have 8 questions on the left side, and your job is to match up the inequality picture on the right side to the inequality statement. So the first thing that I notice here for number 1 is that we're going to have an in-between shading between 2 and 5. And on the 2 and the 5, your circles are going to be filled in because of the line equal to underneath your inequality sign. And so for the first one, I know that letter D is going to match because our variable x is greater than 2 and at the same time less than 5, which is going to be letter D. Now 2 is very similar, except for now it goes from -5 to 2, and those circles are going to be open because there's not an equal to line underneath of there. So -5 to 2 would be letter G, and then I'm going to cross that guy out. Now less than or equal to 2. X is less than or equal to 2. Let's see here. Letter C. So from 2 and then shading to the left, notice how this arrow points at the left, and so that's going to be letter C for this one. Number 4 is in between -2 and +5. Okay, -2 and +5. So those are the two numbers. And then notice how there's an equal to line underneath both of those inequalities. Our circles need to be filled in, which would be letter A. And then this one here between 2 and 5, but the 2 is going to have an open circle. So it's actually really similar to this one, number 1, except for an open dot here, which is going to be letter H. So an open dot at 2 and a closed dot at H, so meaning open is not shaded in and closed for the equal to is filled in. Now the or statements. These are the ones where you're going to see inequalities going on opposite directions that are shaded. One is shaded to the left and the other is shaded to the right. So I see a couple of those. E is one of them and B is one. So I just want to see if I can figure out between the two. So less than or equal to -2. So here's -2. It's filled in and we're going to the left. Or at the same time greater than 5. So actually this one is B. Now my only other one out of these sets that has 2 outside shades is going to be this one here, letter E. Let's just double check it works. So less than 2 is this one on the left, or greater than 5. This one actually matches for E. Oh, and I already used A, so I should have crossed that one out. And then there's only one left, but let's make sure it works. So the inequality symbols here, what I would recommend is that you rewrite these so that your X is on the left side. So notice how your inequality is opening up towards the X. We want it opening up towards the X. So X is greater than or equal to 2. 2 and shaded to the right would be letter F. So F is your answer for number 8. Okay, so that's the first part of your test, which is going to match on your test, which is going to be a matching. Except I think on the test there might be one extra choice than you'll actually use. So that's just something to think about. Okay, now I'm going to do just a couple problems on the next page just because we have a shorter video here. So I'll work through at least the next couple sections and then I'll start a new video for the solving. Okay, so for number 9, what we're going to do is exactly opposite of what we did on the first page, which was matching, but this time we're going to write the inequality that matches the picture. So I notice that the number 12 is the number that's circled, and I see this arrow opening to the right, so that's going to be my symbol greater than. Those need to match. Now because this is a closed circle, meaning it's filled in, I want the equal to sign. So X is greater than or equal to 12, so it's shading numbers bigger. 13, 14, 15, 16, so greater than. For the next one here, I notice the number that is being referred as our circle here is number 3. My arrow tells me the symbol that I'm going to use, and since that's filled in, I'm going to use a line underneath. So less than is going to the left, our less than symbol. The arrow direction should match on your number line. For number 15, I notice that we have 2 numbers that are circled in reference, and the shading is in the middle, which means this one is going to be an and inequality. So you're going to go from least to greatest. So the least number is -5, the biggest number is 0, and your inequalities should always open to the right And then all you need to do is determine if you have an equal to here, which means I need an equal to line for my inequality, not for the 0 because that one's open. Now for 12, you're actually going to have two separate ones of these, and then you're just going to connect them with the word or. So when I see them opening up in opposite directions, I right away put that word or down. So for the first one, x is less than or equal to -8, so that's the left inequality. And for the right one, x is greater than -6. Again, that arrow tells us what symbol to put. And if it's a closed dot, you want that line, that equal to line underneath. And if it's an open circle, no equal to line underneath your inequality symbol. Okay, now for number 13 here, we're going to actually draw the picture. So it says, all real numbers that are greater than or equal to -10. So greater than or equal to -10. I'm going to put -10 right smack in the middle of my graph. And then, oops, 11. Let me fix that. So a number bigger to the right, a number smaller to the left. And then I'm going to circle my -10 and fill it in. And since we said greater than, my arrow should point to the right. Okay, for 14, shade on the number line all the real numbers for x that are greater than 1. Oh, look at that, -1. So let's just fix that right now. All real numbers that are greater than -1 and less than 4. Okay, so this is what your inequality should start looking like. So when you have an and inequality, your x needs to go in the middle, and it needs to go in order least to greatest. So greater than -1 and less than 4, there's going to be no equal to lines on here. So -1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Open circle here, and shading in the middle. Okay, so now for number 15, all real numbers that are at most -2. Up to -2 at most. So that would be less than or equal to -2, or, so notice that word, or, at least, meaning greater than or equal to 3. So here will be my -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now here you're going to shade in your two numbers. The one on the left is going to go to the left, and the one on the right is going to go to the right. And again, if you took really good notes in your notebook, I'll actually do a quick reminder. This year, our notebook, the page was 63. Here are the word phrases that we went over in class. So if you need a quick review of those, hit pause. You can make some flashcards. And then I'm just using those words. So at most, notice that was our less than or equal to, and at least was greater than or equal to. So that's just kind of how I know my word phrases. It's just a reminder to myself right before the video of those word phrases. Okay, then the last one here, all real numbers between -4 and 4. So notice that word and, so it's going to look similar to this, between -4 and 4, but now it says including, inclusive, so we want an equal to here. So that's the difference between this one and this one, is that our bubbles are going to be filled in. So -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a closed circle here, and then a shading in the middle. Okay, I'll do one more for this video, and then I'll start a new video for my solving. Okay, so number 17 says, determine which example below, A, B, C, or D, would be an accurate real-life reflection of the graph that you see here. So it looks like x is greater than 9, strictly greater than 9. So the drive to Atlanta is at least 9 hours. That should be an equal to, because see how we said at least here and we put equal to? That's not going to work. More than 9. I think that looks correct. Okay, and then I just want to read these to make sure. Maximum. Maximum is going to include 9, and that would actually be up to 9, so that would actually be shading on the left side, so that's not going to work. And minimum of 9 is close, except for minimum would be greater than or equal to, so that should include 9 as an answer versus this does not. So strictly more than is going to be the correct answer here. Okay, stay tuned for my solving video. I'll do solving questions on the next video.